Hello, students of Gender and Aging. This is Dr. Pitt. I am your instructor for GERN210.N1, N meaning it's an online course. The purpose of this video is to go over with you the syllabus and some of the Canvas pieces so you are able to hit the ground running on Monday the 19th. That's next week. I record this on Monday the whatever 19 minus, was it the 12th? Yeah, that's what it is. I record this on Monday, August 12th, which gives me a little bit of leeway, but I know that once this video is watched next week, that whole week's going to be on, and we need to go over a couple of pieces before you are able to move forward. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up on my desktop the syllabus, and it's over here if you haven't been able to figure that out, and that's why I'll be looking off here on the side just to keep myself on track. This is an online asynchronous course. That means that there is no set meeting time for this course. You will work at this at your own pace. However, with that being said, it is a week by week course. I do not open all modules for you to work at your own pace. It is not a correspondence course. It is an asynchronous course. And I have to be able to manage my classroom. And so it is a weekly Monday at 12:30 in the morning until Sunday at 11:59 at night course. So that's when the modules are open and when they are done. Your coursework will never cross over into the next module. So every single week it's its own encapsulated module and assignments. I will not go over every single piece on here. You can read it when you're reading through this syllabus. My office is located at 215 West Folk. If you're at all familiar with where the Cosiano Health Clinic is, we are down the street and on the other side of the street of that. We are in a white house, about a 1.5 story. I'm on the first floor, so if you walk into the front doors, you will see a set of stairs on your left-hand side and a hallway on your right. You'll go down the hallway, take an immediate left, and then another immediate left. I am in Office B, and if I am not here, my door is closed. If I'm here, my door is open. That makes sense, doesn't it? Unless I need to have some alone time or I'm recording a video, and I will have the door closed at that point. My office hours are posted on Monday, noon to 2, Tuesday, 9 to noon, and Wednesday, noon to 1. That doesn't mean that those are the only times that I'm in my office, but those are the times that I'm available for students to come in. My office phone number is listed as well. I'm not going to go over the objectives with you. You can read through those. This is an R1 course, meaning that it is a Core Plus course. You will be assessed via task stream at the end of the semester. For a majority of you, I'm going to have to say you've probably been through the task stream ordeal already. And your oral presentation, which is your final project, that is assessed against task stream, assessed against that R1 outcome, that is what you will be submitting on task stream. More of that coming. We've got 16 whole weeks to go over that stuff, so I'm not going to sweat the small stuff at this point in time on explaining task stream and all of that to you. All right, so assignments. You will have modules. There's a tab in Canvas called Modules, aptly titled, and the module itself, the one that you have due, will be the only one you can see, obviously. There will be a discussion board, there will be an extended response, and there will be journals in that module. So the discussion board, it will be a topic that I put forth. It will be posted on the module. We will also be using Flipgrid, which I will bounce back and talk about that in just a second with the introduction. Flipgrid is something that I utilized over the summer with an online summer course, and I really liked it. I liked the format. There were some students who weren't so hip on recording themselves, but you know, sometimes we have to get through the uncomfortableness of certain things to be able to reap the benefit of it. Or they may, you know, still say they just didn't like recording themselves 10 years down the road. That's fine. I don't expect everybody to love a format. But we'll be using Flipgrid, and it is an interactive tool to be able to respond to others, respond to prompts, to just basically record videos of yourself and post them. So that I will go over here in just a second as far as your introduction is concerned. Make sure on your discussion boards, so the reason I'm bringing that up is because of this. I may use Flipgrid for a discussion board. I won't use Flipgrid all the time. I will have discussion boards on Canvas that are just typed responses, but make sure that you read the prompt and that you follow the prompt. Okay, you will need to make sure also that you are responding. There might be times where I say you need to respond to 2 other students' responses, or you need to respond to at least 1 other student or 1 student or 3. I'm not going to make it 3, but typically it's like 1 or 2. But do pay attention to that. I do have students who forget that part and they lose points, and that's a silly way to lose points. So just make sure that you are paying attention to the prompt, what it is that I'm asking you to respond to, and if I ask you to respond to any other students in the course. Okay. Extended responses, there will be certain questions or videos or readings that I post, or something that I pull specifically from the textbook, which I didn't mention, but I'll mention what the textbook is here in a second. Just certain specific pieces of information that's a little bit of a lengthier response. The reason for that is it's just, to get you thinking a little bit more and applying a little bit more than a discussion board post would require. Discussion board posts are pretty much, pretty succinct statements, and an extended response might be something that's a little broader that you're going to have to apply a little more time and a little more process to come up with a response. The textbook, let me pull that up. I went right past that. I got so excited about the R1 stuff, and I just went right past it. The textbook is Martha Holstein, and it is called Women in Late Life, Critical Perspectives on Gender and Aging. And I used to use another course or another book for this. It was called Men in Retirement. If you have acquired both books, we will not be using the Men in Retirement book. We're only going to be using the Women in Late Life. So that might be somebody who you knew had taken this course before and sold you both books. You don't need both books. You just need the Holstein book. Okay? All right. So I talked about extended responses. Journals. There will be journal entries that will be on a specific piece of information that you found interesting that week. I might have some where there are prompts, but I can't cover everything in the book. And you may read something and think, oh, well, that's really quite interesting. I'd really like to talk about that. That can be in a journal entry. And so it's your choice. I don't say, oh, you shouldn't have chosen that choice. No, that's not what I do. I read what you say, and I reflect upon what you say in your journal entry. All right. The final project. You're going to this is in 2 pieces, okay? So piece 1, you're going to find 3 articles. And those articles can be from any news source, like maybe the New York Times, or maybe the Huffington Post, or the Washington Post, or maybe from AARP, not Wikipedia. I mean, that's not an article. I'm trying to think of what other places, like, if it's like a money magazine like Forbes, or if it's Time magazine, you're going to choose 3 articles. And you're going to choose them from the perspective of the gender that you do not associate with. So if you're female and you associate female, you're going to be looking for articles that address male issues. Male issues could be something like life after retirement, or social activities after retirement, or social activities at work, or caregiving of a wife or of a spouse if they are of a same-sex couple. This is a binary, okay? So just know that we're talking male and female. We're not talking multiple gender. We're talking just female. Okay. Male, female, not female. Male, female. So those can just be some ideas for the male perspective. So if you're female and you identify as female, you're going to be looking at the male perspective. If you're male and you identify as male, then you're going to be looking at the female perspective. And the female perspective can be anything. I mean, you've got caregiving, and caregiving in both gender topics. You can have Alzheimer's disease. You can look at retirement. You can look at care. I said caregiving, didn't I? I'm on that caregiving spiel. You can look at retirement. Did I say retirement? I'm terrible. This is terrible. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to stop talking. Let me reboot. As long as it has to do with the aging population, okay? I don't want to read an article about the 18 to 25-year-old female softball players who, had the best season ever. Okay, I'm just making that up. It has to be something to do with age and gender. Okay. You're going to find these 3 articles and you're going to summarize them. You're going to put them into summary form. You're going to then at the end of your summaries. So you have 3 articles. Your summaries should be anywhere between 1 to 2 pages in length. And then at the end, you're going to have a practical application of the coursework that we have completed. There may be an article that you read in one of the modules that specifically pertains to one of the articles you chose, or a video that pertains to it, or something in the textbook that pertains to it. And you're going to have practical application information at the end. So if you want to choose a theme, you can choose a theme. If you want to choose 3 random articles, as long as they meet the criteria of it being about gender and age, I'm fine with that. If you want to specifically focus on Alzheimer's disease, that tends to be something that is, I don't want to say popular, but something that college students like to look at is Alzheimer's disease. If you find 3 articles that talk about maybe the risk factors of men developing Alzheimer's disease, and then talking about caregiving, men who are caregivers for individuals in Alzheimer's disease, and men who participate in Alzheimer's disease support groups, okay? That could be a theme. It would be on Alzheimer's disease. It focuses on men. It focuses on the aging population, and that would meet that criteria. And then you have that practical application of information at the end. That would typically be about 1 to 2 pages, okay? So then that hits your page requirement on that. And I think I have, let's see what I've got as my page requirement on this. Oh, I should have a page requirement on here. Minimum of 6 pages, okay? And that's a minimum. If you get to it and you're like, I've only got 5.5 pages, let me know, okay? But minimum 6 pages. So that's the first piece of this. That is submitted as your final on Canvas, okay? So there will be an assignment in the last module for this on Canvas, all right? Now, that is going to be the only exception, that if you feel like working ahead and you feel like you have a good bit of information under your belt and like you hit the 12th week and you want to go ahead and knock out that assignment, that will be open, okay, for you to be able to submit that. The second part of your assignment is you need to record a video. And I would suggest that you record that video in the One Button Studio. Now, I think I have on here that it has to be recorded there. I do know that people can't make it to Campus. They can't make it to campus, or somebody runs into an issue with they went to the One Button Studio and they recorded it, but the sound didn't record and they don't have the time to get back over there. The One Button Studio is there for your purposes to be able to use it if you wish, okay? If you don't, just sit, this is kind of busy behind me, but what I don't want is I've had recordings where the TV was on behind them and the noise was a little too much, or they had a roommate who, I do know that I've had like some like roommates who've come in and gotten something out of the refrigerator. So just, you know, someplace your room would be just fine. Or, I mean, I've had some people record them in the bathroom, just where it's, you know, noise level is low. So I'm not fighting to hear what you're saying. But the One Button Studio or One Touch Studio in the library, in the Learning Commons, is a great resource for you. So I would suggest, if you haven't used it yet, to, you know, go give it a try. You do have to schedule a time in for it, and I think you have to do that through Outlook Calendar, but they'll be able to walk you through those steps. Okay, so that is the piece that is due on TaskStream, and it will just be a video upload. Okay, it's just a video submission, and you just upload it to TaskStream, and that's how you turn that in. So you'll have two pieces of it. You'll have, and I think that, yeah, I see in my syllabus where it says that if you record it in a different location, it's going to be a reduction. I'm going to pull that out of there. Don't worry about that. I'm not going to say that for this assignment. Okay, so you have discussion boards, extended responses, journal entries, you have the final paper, and then you have the presentation. Okay. And there's also one that says 2 miscellaneous assignments. I just kind of put that in there just in case there's something that I have you do that's extra that will earn you those points. If you don't have those at the end of the semester, I just reduce that by 50 points. So that's just kind of a buffer for me. All right. You can read through the syllabus as far as what your requirements are. I have everything that's set out, and your assignments that are expected of you that week, and they'll be in that module. Okay, so Canvas is the new online presence. We don't have Blackboard anymore, so we won't be dealing with Blackboard. I've been on Canvas for a full year, and so this is my second year, but I've also been a student on Canvas as well, so I'm familiar with it somewhat. So yeah, I think that that's about it. 16-minute video, you know, I took 16 minutes of your lives, but I'm going to post this, and it will be on YouTube, and I'll put this on in the introduction area. And so just, you know, kind of pop around, look around, see what, you know, you need to figure out. And if you have any questions, I am just an email away. I am pitt@findlay.edu. I have a daughter and a son here. Pitt M is my daughter, so don't send it to her. And Pitt E, I don't know why you would send it to him, because there's nothing in my first name that starts with E. But, you know, just so you know that if you do that, it might populate with a couple of Pitts. And I'm the first one. I'm the OG. All right. I will maybe see some of you on campus. If you see my face, say hi. And I won't be able to identify you, but, you know, if you come up to me and say, hey, I'm in your gender and aging class, I am a very nice professor. I'm very warm and very welcoming. Unless I'm having a bad day, then I kick people in the shins and run away. I'm teasing. I don't run. All right. Have a good one. And I'm going to sit here and do this because I didn't hit the stop button fast enough. So here we go. Bye.